Okay. Now, for this section, first of all, is there anyone anyone you cannot see my screen? So let me know if that you cannot see my screen. Okay. So for this section, we will go through Python. Okay. So you may just ask a question that is like, what actually is Python? So Python is actually a popular programming language. So it was created by Grindel in 1991. So it is actually used for like web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting. So this is what we try to use for. And then for Python, you may just say that, well, we have got many different types of the languages. Like we have got the C#, we have got C, and then we have got maybe R, we have got like other programming language such as like HTML. So why do we learn Python? For one thing is that Python is the most popular language and where the job market needs Python. And then Python has a lot of the different, it's very powerful. They have got many different library. And so that we usually for those who study computer science or for those who study for others, like for example, even for AI, okay, and for like for other subjects that if we talk about like programming language, then the language for which we will learn is usually Python. So Python is actually used for like web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting. So they have got a wide different types of functioning. And what can Python do? Now Python can be on a server to create the web applications. Originally, Python was actually used to create websites. But now, of course, it's not just about for websites. So that you may find that if we talk about like creating a website, so first of all that you may think of is for HTML, for which is the first language that I studied, that I learned by myself when I was in high school. And then, however, that's another language for which the people that they try to develop is actually Python, because it can actually allow the web applications, and then it can also like read and modify files and can handle big data. Now, why that it has become much more popular? Because of the fact that it can well handle the big data for which we have got in our everyday life, and then can perform the complex mathematics. So mathematics is very important in terms of programming, because actually for mathematics, it is the backbone of all the programs. However, if you know that we have got many different like we have a lot of different types of many different types of the website programming stuff, for which like a lot of these that are actually based on the background or based on backbone for those like programs where we have got the where we have to handle it. And then a lot of these cases that we do not use whatever thing that you have full of like just purely programs, but then a lot of circumstances that you have to write some of the mathematics to support the whole program to run. This is especially the case for the case of like artificial intelligence, etc. So Python, it works on many different platforms, which includes like Windows, for which we are now doing is actually through the website. Okay, so it is a syntax that allows the developers to write programs of fewer lines than some other programming languages. So you do not need to write so much like in other programs like the C family, that you may have to write a lot of the steps before you can do and execute something. But for Python, you can actually write less code. It can be treated as a procedural, object-oriented or functional way. So good to know, the most recent major is a Python 3. So for those who have learned Python before, that you may have heard of like 2.7 something, okay, 2.73 for example. But then Python 2 is not updated. Okay, even though that it is quite popular, if you try to read and follow those like textbooks, etc., from the library, then some of these are actually we're using like Python 2 or something rather than Python 3, so that we actually do for this case, okay, we will try to use a Python 3 because it is like much more updated rather than Python 2. Okay, Python 2 in that why that a lot of the books still that you can afford, right? But it is written by Python 2 because some of the software, for example, some of the packages that was originally written in Python 2. So by the time that it is written in Python 2, what it means is that it may not be compatible with Python 3. Okay, so there are some of the little minor stuff that it may lead you to a very difficult situation when you try to use Python 3 to run the Python 2. Okay, now in this tutorial that we will try to use like this syntax. I will try to go over with you bit by bit with all this syntax. And towards the end, then there are some of the examples for which is a machine learning that is very common and popular for nowadays. So that you can just tell the others that by the end of this lecture, you can just tell the others that, well, I have already learned the Python, okay, and then you know a bit about Python at least. Okay, so this can be written into your CV and say that, well, I have learned the Python already. So because in other places for which if you learn a Python through like a Python lecture through like Accelerate, for example, it can cost you like $5,000 for just a couple of lectures. And then Python syntax as compared to other programming languages, Python was actually designed for readability, so it is quite easy to read rather than those like C or C# families where you have to read all the cooks, and then that may cause much more lives than as compared to Python. But of course, some people just say that probably that C may be a bit faster or Java may be a bit faster. But in the modern days, you may find that most of the university has already moved from the C family to Python. Even if you, but then if you say that you want to work for like fintech, for example, then even though that Python is very important, then I would suggest that you should also learn the other languages as well, because there are still some of the software packages that they may rely on other program language rather than Python alone. So Python use new lines to create the command rather than just other like programming languages that use a semicolon or parenthesis. So semicolon is like it is quite difficult to read to a certain extent. But of course, if you you get used to it, it means something. But for those that if you have nothing as a background, then Python will be very easy to much more easy to learn as compared to C. Python relies on the indentation using right space to define a scope and as a scope of loops, functions, and classes, etc. So we'll try to go to like Python getting started. So you will see that I have, you will see that this way it just tells you how to install Python. Okay, so of course you can install the Python through the command line, but what I have put into the Google into the Moodle is that I try to put the Google Colab. I would suggest you to use a Google Colab, the one that you can run on a cloud instead of running a command like this one. Because if you ask for anybody who like just say that you can learn something, then they may just propose that you can just install the Python through like a command line. That may be one way, but then because they do not have a GPU, and then so that I would suggest you to run on the Google Colab. And more importantly, there are a lot of the readily available Google Colab for which that you can actually try to copy it and then revise it and then turn it into your own Google Colab pages for which that you can run for your own data, rather than just start everything from scratch. However, even that is the case, I would suggest you to know all the basics before you try to copy and paste the Python programming languages to run your own program. The major reason is that if you do not know anything as a background, then it may be very difficult for you to know which one is something for which that you should run and something that you should not run. So therefore, from this perspective, I would suggest you to first of all that you have to know some basic about the Python before you just go everything from scratch, okay? And then you just copy it because you do not know how to copy it. Like for example, HTML, if you know something, that will be very easy to copy. But then if you just go everything from scratch, that'll be very, very difficult, okay? So usually the program language we will try to start from the printing something, okay? So say for instance, print hello world, okay? So for Python, for whatever thing that you have got like print and then bracket, then it means that ultimately you will just print the thing inside the bracket. So say for instance, for this one, then you try to run it, okay? You try to run it. But why I have got hello world? Because I have printed it out before in my computer before, so that they have got a memory there. So this one you can see that it's there, okay? So they will, once that you try to print it out, okay, click run, then they will have got this one, okay, hello world. So you will see that whatever things that you try to print, okay, say for instance, you try to run it again, then you should have got like 3A. Or you try to run other thing else, like for example, print by 6 plus 7, okay? So you can just try to experiment with it and see what happens. And they have got like 13. So you can see that print whatever thing they will try to do something what, like for example, this one, it will print out some of the words. 6 on 7, they will print some of the numerical values, okay? Or like print, see what happened. So just randomly do something experimenting. So you can actually experiment as well. So you can see what equals to 5.0. Or like print 2 times 8. What happened then? So it has got what, 16, okay? So you can see it's a 2 times 8 equals to 16. So this is the way for which that we try to experiment with this website, okay? And then we will try to go through to the Python syntax, okay? So for Python syntax, then we have got what? We have got execute a Python syntax. So it's a print hello world, and we have got hello world. This is what we have experiments. And then we have got like if and greater than 2, okay? So by the way, is there anybody who cannot read my screen? Anybody that you cannot read my screen? Okay. Now here, if 5 is greater than 2, then print 5 is greater than 2, so you try by yourself and see what happens. Okay, see here, 5 is greater than 2. So you have got a message here, okay. And then we have got some other thing else. So if 5 is greater than 2, then print 5 is greater than 2. If 5 is greater than 2, print 5 is greater than 2. So you try to print it out, okay. Now if we try to do it in the other way. So see what happens. Here you can see that I got saying what syntax error. Okay, so it just tell you that it is error. Okay, so it means that it cannot work here. So it means that you have to change it back. Okay, so it means that some of the value that they cannot accept, like something as like an equal sign. Okay, but for greater than 2, that would be fine. Next, Python variables. So you can see that we have got variables like x and y. Okay, so we try to print the variables. So by the time we print it out, we run it. Okay, so you can see that they have got x is equals to 5 and y is equal to hello world. So by the time we try to print x and try to print y, then print x then will be like 5 and print y will be hello world. Okay, and then next they will try to use like Python commands. Okay, now how to create a comment. You may just ask a question, why do I need to know comment here? Because sometimes by the time that you write very lengthy program language, you want to remind yourself, what does it mean by this line? What does it mean by that line? But then you do not want to print that out. You want to record it, but you do not want to print it out. So what you can do is that you will try to use you can use this one, okay, and then you can just print out, okay. So say for instance, this is a comment, okay. So we try to see what happened. You run it, and then you can find that the comment is not there. There is only hello world, okay, instead of the comments, okay. So if you have got any questions, just let me know as soon as possible. So the comments can be placed at the end of the line. So it means that it can be placed here. You can see that this is on top of it. You have got a comment there. The comment can be found here as well. Okay, so you try to print it out, or even like here, for example, try to print it out. So it's a cheers made. Okay, so you can see that this one, there is nothing here. It's shown in this side, okay, on your right hand side, because of the fact that this one is actually indicating our comments. So our comments will not be run in any case. So multi-line, okay, multi-line, you will see that you have got different comments, okay. So what it says is that Python does not really have a syntax for multi-line comments. So for each of the comment, you just add the sharp in front of all the lines, and then you try it by yourself. Here there's like hello world is there. Or this then, what happened then? Guess if there is anything that is printed out for this is a comment written in more than just one line. So we try to print out and experiment hello world as well. Now you can see that actually for this one, it can also make it as the comment because of the fact that they are not printed out in any case. So we try to do exercise. So comments in Python are written in special characters. So which one? Okay, so we try to see it. Special character. So this one, it should be the sharp, right? So we try to submit the answer. So is that correct? Okay. So exercise 2. We try to create a comment. Start with this signage. We try to create some variables. The variables are containers for the storing the data values. So unlike other programming language, Python has no command for declaring a variable. So what we try to do is that it's just like x is equal to 5 and y is equal to John, and then print x is like 5 and then print y is equal to John. So you have to assign the value of that. So see here, they automatically that's print out as like 5 and John, because of the fact that we have already defined x is equal to 5 and also y is equal to John. But this is very important because most of the time, by the time we write the Python programming, one of the major difficulty that we have come across is that we may have only got like 5 and John, okay, and then we may just print out as like print x and print y, but forgot to state what is 5 and what is John. Then it will just say that it's a syntax error. So we can actually try to have a syntax error now. Try to show you what happened. Okay, if we do not have divide, what are these? So it should be able to show as a syntax error. Where it said x is not defined. So it is shown here. So you can just see that it just gives you some feedback. So what you try to do is that x is equals to x, y is equal to 10, for example. So try to run it out. So it's like 8 and 10. So it is different from the rest, from the previous one for which we have set the value. So you can see it's an 8 and also 10 here. So we will try down for the next variables. Okay, x is equal to 4. X is a type of integer, and then Sally, x is equal to Sally. So it is a type of string. So we try to print x. So what happened? Sally. So x is equal to 4 is not there. So it just tell you that it will only run according to the last line of code instead of the run all the lines of the code that you have put there. Now we have got string variables that can be declared either by single or double quotes. So it's like x is equal to John, double quote, x is equal to John, single quote. So what happened? You can see there is no difference. Okay, even if we try to put it as single or double, okay, it has no difference. Okay, try to run it again. You can see that there is no difference there. So variable can have a short name like x or y, but there may be some of the descriptive name like age, etc. The rules for the Python variables. So first of all, a variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. So letter is this one. Underscore variable is my underscore BR. Okay. So we have got like John. Okay. And the illegal variables names, which includes like to my variable equals to quotation John. Okay. So we try by ourselves. Okay. Here just say is that to my variable is syntax error. Okay. So that this is not applicable. So we have got some of them, they are legal variable name. What does it mean by legal variable name? It means that they are perfectly fine, they are perfectly okay, they have no problem. Let's see what happened. There's nothing. Why? You have to print it out because for the fact that we have forgotten to print it out. So say for instance, we try to print this one, we try to print we try to run it. So you can see that we have got two John there. The meta is like my variable, my underscore variable. Okay, it's still John. So we can assign a value to multiple values. So you can see x, y, y set equals to John, equals to orange, banana, cherry. So we try to print x, print y, and print set. Okay, so we try out by ourselves, orange, banana, cherry. Okay, so you can see that these three are there. Try again. Maybe we can just leave out one. So say for instance, we try to leave out one. Okay, what happened if we only print x and print set? We try to print a one, A, B, Z. Okay. Now we try to print A and we try to print B and see what happened. So we just tell you that orange and also banana. Okay, print A. Okay, A will be equals to orange. Okay, print B. B will be equals to banana. So still that is like the value is assigned then. So we now have got x is equals to awesome and prints like Python is blah blah. Okay. So we try to print out. So you just say that it's like what? Python is awesome. Now how about we try to print out as like Python is so 6x. Try to change it. Okay. A is equals to difficult. And then this is Python is plus A. How would that look like then? So Python is difficult. So you can see that actually it is like some of the very basic mathematics. So if you remember that there are some of the mathematics that you have learned before, then the logic for which like it is like quite similar. Then we try to replace some of the variable value and into the value that we wish to add in. Okay. So we also use a plus character to add a variable to another variable. So say for instance, Python is blah blah, and then two variables add together. So you can see this as why Python is awesome. Okay. So say for instance, so we try to change it. So we have got for example, economics is easy to learn. Say for instance. Now suppose we have got economics is and also easy to learn. So it's like A and B that they have got different values. So we try to run it. So that it just said that set is not defined. Okay, because we have not yet changed it. So we have to change it. Then print C. So it's like economics is easy to learn. So that is like pretty simple and pretty easy in terms of Python. Next one. Plus is like mathematical numerical operator. So this is what we have tried before. So we have got like 5, 10. Okay, what about if we try to change it? 7, 8. We print it now. 15. Or if we try to change it out, x is equal to 9. We try to print it. So that would be equal to 16. So see here, that would be pretty easy. Well, you have to define the variable first. Okay, define the variable first, and then print something out. And then we have got some other things, which includes this one. X is equals to awesome. Define my function. Okay, prints whatever is whatever. My function. So you try to run it. So it's like Python is awesome. So you can see that because the x is defined by awesome, so you try to define my function. So you try to define a function, and then that function is actually this one. Okay. So by the time we print out my function, then it will automatically come out as a Python is awesome, because we try to define the function is that we have got this part plus another part. So we try to create a variable inside a function, and this with the same name as the global variables. So x is awesome. So we try to define my function where x is equals to fantastic. So we try to print it out, and then my function So we have got two answers. Why? For the first one, that x is equals to awesome. Okay. So in the first part, define my function. So x is equals to fantastic. Okay. Now the awesome is actually replaced by fantastic. Okay. Because it tried to define the function as this. Okay. So print Python is plus x. So immediately then we have got this one. Okay. However, if we just talk about the my function, then that will be just my function prints, okay, Python is whatsoever. So for this one, then it will be Python is awesome only. So for the global keyword, normally you will try to create a variable inside a function. That variable is local and then you can be used inside the function. So to create a global variable inside a function, you can try to use a global keyword. Okay. So we try to define my function, global x. Okay. X is equal to fantastic, my function, and then print Python is whatsoever. So you try it by yourself, okay? So then you try to run it out. X is equal to fantastic. So my function, then that will just print out as what? Print Python is plus x, so that it will just print out as the Python is fantastic. To change the value of the global variable inside the function, then we will just revert to the variable by using the global keyword. So x is awesome, define my function, and then global x, and then x is equal to fantastic, and then my function prints Python is plus x. So you can see that here, still that is a Python is fantastic, as simple as that. So you try to test yourself with exercise. So in this one, we try to create a variable, which is known as the car name. See whether we have got the correct answer. Show the answer. Yes, so this one is correct then. Exercise 2. We try to create a number of a variable named x and then store 50 inside. So we try to submit the answer. Correct. Okay, x is equal to 50. Here we have got two variables, x and y. So display the sum of the 5 plus 10. Okay, so we will just put as like x is equal to 5, y is equal to 10, and then we try to put something as what? Print x plus y. So just say that it is correct again. Exercise 4. Okay, so we have got what? Called x set, and then assign x to y, and then display the result. So we again, x is equal to 5, y is equal to 10, set is equal to x to y, plain set. So we try to submit the answer. This is set. Correct. Okay. So we move the illegal characters through the variable. What is an illegal character then? Is this one illegal? No, because underscore is not illegal. But how about this one? Is it illegal then? Well, this is a big question. Let's try and see whether or not that is illegal, because it seems that we have not come across the hyphen before. We try to submit the answer. Oh, not correct. So it doesn't matter, just click here to try again. So we have got something that is illegal for which we have mentioned it before. So as you say, so we try to figure out what it is. Okay, if not, then we just click the show answer. So we have to remove 2 at the very beginning. It means that because 2 was removed. Okay, we have to remove it. So this is correct. 6, we have got what? Insert the syntax to assign the same value to all the 3 variables in the code. Okay, see whether or not that it has got it is correct then. So we have got x is equal to y is equal to z and the orange. So we try to submit the answer. So that is correct. Okay. So we have got the Python data types. Okay, we'll go back. After doing all the exercise, then we will just go back. We'll just go back to Python variables. So we try to create some of the variables. So try to create the data type. Okay. Now, why do we need to know the data type? Because of the fact that these data type can actually tell you that they can be added together or they cannot be added together. For example, print 5 plus 6 that you can add together. However, if the string is like, for example, apple, okay, but then you do not use a quotation, then it cannot be added together. So therefore, we have to know what kind of data type it is. So say for instance, we have got string, that is words, okay. Intelligence, integer, okay, int, integer, floats or complex number. So complex number, if you have studied the M2, then you should know complex number is like, for example, 6 plus 6j, okay. So j in itself is actually a complex number, or 6 plus 6i, then that is I is actually a complex number. Okay, we have got the sequence types. There is a list, tumble, and range. We have got like mapping type, like dictionary, okay, set, floating, z, okay, boolean type, okay, bytes, and also memory view, etc. So, however, a lot of circumstances we do not know what it is, right? But you just say that, well, how can I remember everything? That's right and correct. So what we try to do is that we can just learn from asking Python what actually it is. So try to see, for example, this one. Try to run it out. X is equal to 5 and print type of x. So what actually it is? Ask Python. You just say that it's a class integer. Okay, so it means that int, it means that it is integer. Okay. So we try to experiment with different types here. So for the first one, it said it's a str, see whether it is correct. Yes, class str. So it means it is a string. So for string, it means a words only. Okay, so that refers to a string. And then we have got x is equal to 20. So we tried it. Okay, we tried it and then run. So you can see that print x, we are not talking about type. However, you have to print type of x, that is what it tried to print is a class of the integer. So it will tell you int, it means integer. 20, it just print out what is shown in x only. We have got like 20.5. It said that it is a float. What does it mean by float? So a float means that they are like decimal one, that is a float. So see whether or not it is correct. So we try to use like x is equal to 20.5 and then print x and then print type of x. Now print x, it means that we should try to print the value of x only. But then for the type of x, it means that we try to print out the type what it is. So here it shows that the print x is 20.5, but print type of x is actually class float. So we have got 1j. Remember what I said? 1i, 1j. I and j are actually complex number. So for my generation, that we have got the additional maths, then we have learned these complex number. For the younger generation, then they have got the M2. For the M2, they have also got like complex number as well. So I and j are actually complex number. For if you want to learn more, then you can try to search in Google complex number, that they should have returned a lot of things to you. So under what circumstances that they are useful, they may be useful in like programming the the upper one, the more advanced one, then you may need maps. But for those like it is not that advanced, you can actually just copy and paste, copy the files, the Python that you can just you can just use it. But except why you have to know all these basic things, because before you can copy anything, you must know what these means before you can try to revise it according to what you need. Okay, X is equal to apple, banana, cherry, so it is a list. So we try to print X, so there's a bit apple, banana, cherry, and then we print it is a kind of list. So we have got a list of variables that consists of the apple, banana, and also cherry. And then we have got what tumble. So what is the major difference? That is the major difference is this black cat. Okay, so black cat makes difference, and they just say that it's just a tumble is of a list. So why do we need to know about whether or not that this is a list or whatsoever? Because sometimes, like as simple as mathematics, we wish to know whether or not the two can be added together. Like for example, integer can then be added together towards a string. Okay, then probably that the whatever thing that we try to print out, maybe like two of them, they just stick together, but they cannot calculate like 5 plus 6 equals to 11. So that's why that we wish to know about the data types. So data type actually tells you what other things else that it should be able to add, etc. Frozen sets. So for frozen sets, it is like with different bracket again. So the major difference is just the bracket. Okay, frozen sets, we have got two different brackets that are held together. So it's so on and so forth. So the most important, most commonly used type of the data type is usually the string, that is about the words. Okay, integer, that's about the numerical value. Floats, that is those that you can see that is 20.4, 5.5, for example. We have got a list that refers to here, that the bracket notes this bracket as compared to another bracket in the next row. So the tumble has got like another type of bracket, and so as a frozen set, we have got another type of bracket again. So the meta is a dictionary. Okay, dictionary. This is some information you should know as well. Dictionary name John, age 36. So what do you need to know about this? Okay. The dictionary is just assign some value to okay, to some of the variables. So name is John and the age is 36. So this is what is set here. Okay. So on and so forth. So we try to specify, you try to setting the specified data. Okay, for example, X is equal to string hello world. So we try it out. So the string is what is that is here is a hello world class string. Integer is equal to 20. So you try to do something as like integer 20 and then display X and then print X. Complex 1J, so you try to print type of X. So that is like complex number. X is equal to 5, prints type of X. So this one, it should be what? Integer. So say whether or not that we are correct. Here. Submit answer. The answer is set. Yes, it is correct. So it's an integer. What type of data it should be? So X is equal to hello world, and we try to print type of X. So it should be what? String. Is it correct? Let's see. also correct. So this one, it should be float because of what reason? We have got a decimal point there. See whether or not that we are correct. Try to submit it. Also correct. Exercise 4. We have got the apple, banana, and also cherry. So we try to print type of X. So that would be like apple, banana, and also cherry. So we try to see what kind of thing it is. Is it a leaf or a tumble? So there are actually something for which we have learned it before. See whether or not the list is correct because we try to look at it from the black cat and then distinguish and identify it. So the answer also correct. Here, we suspect it is tumble because of the black cat that is shown here. So we try to submit the answer here as the tumble. Try to print type of X, okay? Well, we have forgotten what it is. So what we have to do is that we go back here. We have got dictionary. Does it look fairly similar? EICT, okay? So it is very similar. Why? We have got the colon in between. So try to see whether or not it is correct. Yes, okay. 7. So X is actually true. So we have got something as like true or false. So can we find the answer from this? The answer is that here we cannot find any. So what we can do is that we try to run it. We can actually try to run it if we have forgotten. So we can try to run it. So just click on any one of these, okay? Print it out and see what kind of type it is. It's that class bool. So that is a kind of like Boolean, okay? B-O-O-L. Okay, so it is a kind of Boolean. So we have got like, if we try to put it as like false, true or false. So false is also a kind of what? Is actually also a kind of Boolean as well, B-O-O-L. Okay, so up to now, I would like to know as if any question from you. Any question? No question? So, 薛天天 薛天天 okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So, may I ask you a question that is like, what if we try to print out as like print 5 plus 6? We have got a bracket, print, and then bracket 5 plus 6, and then close bracket. So, what will be the answer for this one?
11.
11, yes. So it will run out as like 11, okay?
Yes.
So we will move on to Sima Jian.
Hello.
Yeah. So the next question is that what is the major benefit of using Python as compared to other types of programming language?
Pardon.
What is the major benefit of using Python as a programming language as compared to, like, for example, C, etc.?
Sorry.
What is the major benefit?
Major
benefit of using Python as compared to C and also other languages.
shift.
Sorry?
Shift.
What does it mean by shift?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, doesn't matter. Okay. So next one, 大家去. 大家去. Okay. Now, for Python, if we try to print out something, we try to print and then bracket type. For example, if x is equal to 5, for example, we then print type of x. So how will we write out in the programming language?
Sorry. How we can use?
If we try to know, if we want to know what is the type of, like for example, what is the type of the like for example x is equal to 5, and then we wish to know the type of this variable. So how can we write in Python?
Print.
Yes, by print, correct. Good try. And then so what we can do is that print and then bracket type and then bracket and x and then close bracket for twice. Okay, then we can deal with this. Okay, now we will go on with the other. We'll go on again with the Python numbers here. Okay, now we have got 3 numerical types, that is an integer, float, and also complex. Okay, so we try to put down the comment there. X is equals to 1 is an integer, y equals to 2.8 is a float, z equals to 1j is a complex number. So we try to print it out, print type x, y, and z. So we try it by ourselves, and then we try to run. So we have got like, first of all, this one is actually integer, 2.8 is actually a float, 1j is actually complex. Now this one is just like Python. It has got a lot of the common things for which that similar to other types of the programming language, such as R. That we have to know what kind of the class it is, because by the time you know the class, then you know that some of them they can be added together, but some of them they cannot. They are not compatible. Okay, so this is why that we have to have like the Python that we try to have got this kind of classes added together, that we know what it is. Okay, but having said that, you do not need to remember everything, because what you see here is that all you need to know is that you have to know that we have got print bracket type of x. Then you will know how to print it out, and then know how to get the type of the variables there. So try to print type x and y and z. Okay. Next one, x is equal to 1, y is equal to, well, a long list of numbers. Z, then we have got negative number. So we try it out. Let's try it out. See what happened. Will there be any changes due to? Oh, the answer is no, because no matter what, x is equal to 1, x is equal to whatever, so we have got these. Okay, so it is still there for the type of the integer. So no matter it is like very lengthy one, still that is the integer. Even though there is a negative or positive, it makes no difference towards the class. And then floats, we have got this one. We try to print x. Okay, print x is equal to 1.1. Y is equal to 1.0, and z is equal to negative 35.59. Okay, so we have got type prints type of x equals to So we try to print it out. So we have a class of float. Okay, why is it a float? Because it is not integer. Okay, so we have got decimal place there. No matter what cases, whether it's negative or positive, if we have got an integer there, if we have got decimal places there, then it's a float. So whether or not it's a negative or positive, it makes no difference as well. So floats can be a scientific number, so add e to indicate the power of 10. Okay, so here we try to print out. So we try to run it. It's still a float. Why? Because this one, it just shows that what is said here. E is what? Indicate the power of 10 only. So this one, even though we have got a power of 10, still that is a decimal point. Okay. Now we have got the complex number. Okay, complex number, we try to use a J as a imaginary part. Okay. We try to print out the type. So you just say that it is what? It is complex number. 3 plus 5J. No matter it is like we have got a numerical value or in that and add by the numerical value, or we try to stick the numerical value towards a J or negative 5J, still there is a complex number. Next, we have tried to convert. Okay, we try to convert the one type to another with the int, float, and also complex methods. So we have got x is equals to 1, y is equals to 2.8, and then z is equals to 1j complex. So we try to reconvert from integer to float. So a is equals to float x, and then b is equals to integer y, and then c is a complex x. We try to print a, b, and c. So by the time we print a, we think that maybe it should be what? Float x. Maybe it will have got the integer y, and maybe we have got complex x by the time we print these. Okay. But how about the type then? What kind of a type is it for the A, B, and C? Okay, so we have to try it by ourselves. So for this one, actually, we do not need to memorize everything. We try it and then see what kind of thing it is, and then try to run it out and then see what happens. So we try to run it out, print x, so float. So you can see originally it's an integer because that we do not have a decimal place. But now by the time we try to tell the computer that this is a float, so it turns to 1.0. We try to convert the floats from the integer, so that integer 2.8 floats to integer. You may just say that is it true that it should be 3 instead of 2? The answer is the computer only know that the integer is what? 2. Okay, the integer from here we can read here is 2, so that ultimately it will only print out as 2, not 3. It will not go directly from from 2 to 8 to 3. No, but rather it will try to read as 2 as an integer. Convert from integer from a complex number, complex x. Okay, so it just says 1 plus oj. Okay, why? Because for the x it is 1 only. So if we want to add the something to become a complex number, we have to add 0j, because actually j is nothing. We do not have any j at all. But we want to have a complex number. So what we can do is like 1 plus 0j here. And then we have got number, random. Okay, import random. So we have to print random and then dot rand range 1 to 10. So we try it by ourselves. Okay, so we try to run it. Okay, random 1 to 10. It just say 8. 1 again. 5. Next one. Next student, the lucky one. Liu Xingyu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to ask you a question, Liu Xingyu. Why that one time and one moment is 5 and another time another moment is
It is
8?
8.
Why? Why we have got one time is like 5 and one time is 8?
Because it's random.
Yes, right. Okay, as simple as that, because it is random. Okay, so by the time that it is random, sorry that it will just run according to the computer program, and we don't know like what happened next. Okay, maybe try to do something. So what it is the use of it? By the time we buy Mark 6 for those who come from Hong Kong, okay, or for those who are now situated in Hong Kong, if you want to buy Mark 6, how many numbers are there altogether in Mark 6? How to 幺西洞 oops
Here.
幺西洞 how many numbers are there altogether in Mark 6? 六合彩 how many number are there altogether?
Altogether.
Yes, how many number? Mark 6 in Hong Kong. Right, no idea. We try to ask a local student. Chen Chong Yan.
Hello.
Hi, Chen Chong Yan. How many number altogether in Mark 6?
49.
49. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, but anyway, just say it is 49. So we try to run 1 to 49. Click 1. Okay, we try to pick out 6 number. Okay, Mark 6. Okay, the first one lucky number is 15. Next one. The next lucky number is, let's see, 3. Okay, we try to buy this lucky number for the Mark 6. Okay, the third lucky number is, for those that do not come from local, you can ask the local what is Mark 6, MARK, and then SIX. Okay. Next number is 23. So that is how it is used. Okay. Practically speaking, you can actually use for what? You can actually use for the Mark 6. Okay. Try to select the number from the computer instead of you try to think about it in the whole day. Okay, what I should buy. With 28. Okay. Another number is how much? 33, so on and so forth. Okay, so it means that you can, practically speaking, you can actually use it for what? Mark 6. Next, okay. We try to do it exercise again. So we get used to what? Print. Okay, see whether it is no, not print. We try to insert a correction test to convert x to a decimal number. The decimal number, what is the decimal number in terms of like if we want to get the decimal number, then we have to do what? Vote, right? So we try to copy it, submit the answer, see whether or not it is correct. The answer is correct. Next one, then we have got like, oops, try to convert it to the integer, so int. Try to submit answer, correct. Number 3, we try to convert it to a complex number. Remember what you have done it previously in the exercise, submit the answer, correct again. Okay, so we go back to the previous pages. Okay, and then we go on to Python casting. We try to specify a variable type. Okay, so there may be a time when you want to specify a type on a variable. So why? Okay, sometimes that you may have to specify it. Okay, because that you want to let it know that it is what kind of variable it is. So this can be done through casting. So Python is an object-oriented language. I mean, what kind of thing it is doesn't matter, but then you have to know it in advanced level. But for today, you just need to know it is like object-oriented operated languages. And as it uses class to define the data types, including the primitive types. So casting is therefore done through using the constructor functions. So integer, it just say that it constructs the integer number from the integer literal, a float literal. Float is what? Decimal place. Okay, but rounding the numbers into rounding down to the previous whole number. 2.8. It will only round up to what? 2 instead of 3. Okay, float constructs the float from the integer float and then string, etc. So string, you just try to construct a string from a wide variety of data types. Okay, so try it by yourselves. Okay, so what you have to do is that try to run 1, 2, and 3. Okay, here. Why? Integer 1. Of course, it's 1. We have no other options. 2.8, no matter what, only print out 2 instead of like 2.8. Integer of 3, also 3, obviously. So it just tell you that how it can be done here through the printing exercise. Okay. So we go on to the next one, and we try to convert it to float. Float, bracket 1, float, bracket 2.8, float, bracket 3. Okay, so we try it by ourselves and then see what happens. We try to run it. Okay. So no matter what, okay, you can try to experiment by yourself and then see what happens. Okay, float originally is 1, but then now it turns to what 1.0 because it just tells the computer that it is a float. So we must have got the decimal place. So decimal place we just automatically there's like 0.0. Float 2.8, of course, that it is already a float, so you don't need to do anything more. Float 3.0, because actually no matter it is like quotation mark is added or quotation mark is not added, that will be end up with the same phenomenon. And float bracket quotation 4.2, still 4.2. Okay, so try to run it. Still, everything is just there. Okay. So it means that again, you do not need to remember everything. You just try to remember what it happens. Okay, remember some of the prints or whatsoever, floats, whatsoever. Then you can just do it. And then if you forget it, also doesn't matter because you can actually print it out and see what it happens towards like given loads, etc. Okay, and then we will exercise with strings. So string literals in Python are surrounded by either single or double quotation marks. So hello with the single quotation mark is the same as hello double quotation marks. So you can display a string literal with the print function. So we have got print hello, and then we try to exercise whether or not they are the same. It said it is the same, but is it true that they are the same? So we try to print it out, and then both of them is just hello. Okay. So next we try to assign a string to a variable. A is equals to the hello, and then we try to print it A, for example, and then we try it out, and then we have got hello only. Okay, because A is set is equals to hello. So by the time we print A, it will just tell you that it is hello. Multi-line string, it seems that we have done it before, right? So see what happens. We have got, wow, so many codes, okay? Does it affect what it happens? So we try to print it out. The answer is we have seen that actually it will just keep everything the same inside the bracket, no matter how many codes that you have added in, okay? Strings are arrays. So like many popular languages, strings in Python are arrays of bytes. So why do we need to know about these? Because it actually helps you to learn all the other languages. All the that we actually use similar idea or concept. That is, we have got.
你看，卡住了吗？什么垃圾网络？肯定没有卡住，是他自己。
We have got like arrays. Okay, we have got strings. Okay, we have got arrays. Okay, we tried it by ourselves. Okay, why do we have got to know the strings and arrays, bytes, etc.? Because it actually happens in all the other languages that we have got something that's fairly similar. That we will have integer, we have got floats, we have got adding together, minus, plus. So it's very similar. And then for this one, we try it by ourselves, and then we try to run it. Print A1. Also quite one question, why that it has got E here? Now, usually no matter it is like R programming or Python, we start from 0. Okay, so by the time we count the value, this one it is the first digit, so this is 0. This one is the second digit, so it is 1. So L, that is 2, and then 3, and so on and so forth. So if we try to put out 3, so that is what? That's this one, okay? Because 0 is H, 1 is E, 2 is L, 3 is L, 4 is O. Okay, so that for this one it is L. So why do we need to know about this? By the time you run other programming, that you run model through Python, for example, they may have got like 0, 1, 2, 3. It just tells you that which model is the best, for example. So 0 it means that it is actually the first one, but not the but not the first one, because 1 may be the second one instead in some of the model results. Okay, so that's why that we have to know about this. So bear in mind, for no matter it's a Python or R, it counts from 0, not it counts from 1. So it starts from 0 instead of it's done from 1. Slicing, you can return a range of characters by using slicing. So you try to slice it. Okay, so you try to calculate from position 2 to 5. So 5 is not included. So what does it mean by 5 is not included? So we try to run it. So we have got 0, H, okay, 1 is E, 2 is L, 3 is L, okay, 4 is O. So we try to count from number 2. So 2, it should be what? L, okay, the first L. And then 2, 3, 4, but not 5. Why? Because for whatever thing that it end up with the after the colon, then we neglect it. Okay, so therefore we have got LLO here. So if we turn it the other way around, we try to put it as like 7. So what it end up then? Does it count the comma or not? Okay. So here, so you can just see that 2 to 7, so without 6, then it will count 2 towards comma. 0, H, 1, E, 2, L, 3, L, 4, O, 5, okay. But then why that it counts to like 7 then? We try to run for the 6, 2 to 6, and then see what happened. That it is still so for 8, then we have got W there. So we will try to see what actually it has counted then. L, L, O, and then this one, and the W. So we try to count it 0, okay, if there is a quotation mark. 1, hello. 2, there's E. 3, there's L. Okay, and then we try to run it, and then we found that it is like, it tried to show you that it is LLO here. So you try to count from the, it try to count for the Python syntax. Okay. So here, negative indexing. So you start from the slice from the end of the string. So you try it by yourself from the end of the string. So -5 to -2. So you start from the back. So ORL. So you start from the back. So this one is -2. Okay. -3, -4, -5. So we have got this as a result. And then string length, so we want to count the length of the character. So we set that they are altogether 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So we have got the whole word there. The length of A has got like 13 characters. So they said this is like 13. String method, the string method removes any white space from the beginning or towards or the end. So we try to remove the, we try to have got like A is equals to hello world. So we try to print bracket A dot string. Okay. So we try to print the hello world. So it's a hello world, okay, here. So for string, it just remove any white space. Okay, what does it mean by no white space? So you can see that we originally have got the white space. We have got the white space in somewhere like between the before hello, before H, and then after the exclamation mark. So for no white space, so you can see that here, but then it is not clear here, but then it just shows you that we have tried to remove the white space there. So lower means that returns the strings in the lower case. So sometimes by the time that you have got this one, and then you have got a whole string. For example, we have got what? For example, ECON244. And then we want to turn it to the lower case because we do not want to see all the big capital letters. So what we have to do is that we try to use this method as a print A dot whatever, and then copy and paste this one. That will be your answer. Okay. So you do not need to type all the thing out, but you can actually use a Python to help you. And then the upper, so we try to turn everything into the upper one. So you can see here, all the letters becomes the capital letters. So we have got replace H by J, okay? So it should be Jello World. Okay, Jello World, okay, because we try to replace the H by J. Try to replace it, H by J. And then we try to split it. Okay, we try to use a split method to split the strings into substrings if it finds instances of the operator. So we try it by ourselves. We try to split strings. Okay, hello and the world by using this comma. Okay, so you can see that it now split into what? First string is hello with the quotation mark there, single quotation mark, because we try to split it into two parts. Okay, in the world we have got another quotation mark, but not double quotation mark, no longer double quotation mark there. Okay, and then we have to try to check the string. We check if the phase AIN is present in the following. So what we have to do is that we try to check whether AIN is there. So you just say that X is equals to quotation AIN close quotation in text, and we try to print it out. It just say true. Okay, so it means that AIN is there. Why? Because ring out AIN. Okay, so AIN is there, and then we try to check whether phase is not in the phase. Okay, print AIN not in text. So the answer is false because AIN is to be there. So that by the time you just say that something not in whatever, so it just say that it is false. String concatenation. So we try to combine together things for which that we have mentioned before. Sometimes we would like to combine the things, but we are not sure whether it can be combined or not. So what we have tried to do is that we try to combine hello world together, where A is equals to hello, B is equals to world, and then C hello world if it is possible to add them together. So print out hello world, the two words stick together. Okay. And then there's a space in between them, so we just say C is equal to A plus space plus B, because just now it doesn't good. Okay, it tried to back all the words together, but we should have got a space in between them. So we try it again. So you can see that here, by the time that we try to add the space in between, then we have got a space in between rather than two words stick together. In the string format, age is 36, text, my name is John, I am, and then plus age. So we try to print the text, okay? So we try to print the text. It just said what it must be string, it must not be integer. So what we can do, see whether or not they can help. Turn it into a string, see whether or not that it can be. My name is John, I am 36. Now what you can see is that what I try to do here is try to turn the 36 with a quotation mark instead of without a quotation mark there. So this is how it can be done, okay? And then use format to method to insert the numbers into the string. Use format, okay? We try to format the age. So this is another example for which you can deal with. Okay, we try to use the format age, and then to test.format age to help us to convert it where we can deal with that, but it's like a bit complicated as compared to the one that I've done because I just add the quotation mark before. Okay, so another one, format quantity is equal to 3. Email is like whatsoever, price is whatsoever, my order. I want something, pieces of item for whatsoever dollar. Okay, so print my order. So you have got an order because, well, should you put like email first, quantity first, or price first? So you have to put my order dot format bracket quantity. So you have to put the quantity first, and then email first, and then price next. So you just say here, I want 3 pieces of item, 5,567 for $49.95. So this is how it has got here. Okay, next one, then we have got the index number to be sure that the arguments are placed in the correct place orders. The quantity is 3, its amount is like 567, price is 49.95, and then my order, I want to pay $2 for 0 pieces of items 1. Now you may ask a question, what happened here? 2, why 2? Because 2 refers to what? You can see that the order start from 0. Remember what is said, all the Python start from 0. 0 is quantity. Its amount is like first, and price is 2. So it's a 0, 1, 2. So I want to pay $2. Okay, $2 for. Okay, so what it has shown here? 2. Okay, dollar of 2 is what? We try to pay 49.95. Okay, instead of 5,607. Okay, because this is the second items. 0, 1, 2. There's a 2 item. Okay, and then for 3 pieces, okay, because it said it's what, for 0 pieces of item, okay, with the bracket 1. We have tried to use the escape character to use the characters that are illegal in the string that use the escape characters. So the escape character is actually the black slash followed by the characters that you want to insert. So an example of the illegal character is actually double quotes inside a string that is surrounded by double quotes. So say for instance, if you have get an error, if you try to use double quotes inside the inside a string that's surrounded by double quotes. So text is equals to double quotes. So we are so-called beacons from the north. Okay, so try it by ourselves. So we have got double quote inside double quotes. Okay. So is that what syntax error invalid in text? Is what is that? You cannot put any of the double quote inside a double quote. So you will try to use what? You will try to use this one slash, and then to see what will happen. You can now you can actually now use the double quotes, okay, after adding the slash, okay. It works perfectly fine. You can still run it. You can still run the results. Other escape characters in Python, which includes like this one, slash, and then quotation mark, double slash, new line. So that is like slash n. So we try to use it. It's all right, okay. So we try to print it out. Well, there isn't any changes there. It still is all right, okay. But then the slash, okay, we move it from our text there. Double slash. We insert 1, okay, instead of 2 there. And then we have got new line. Once you have got slash n, it turns to another line automatically. So you do not need to do anything other than that. And then you have got the carriage return. You try it. So again, that we have got what? Split into 2 lines. And then we have got the tab. You try it again for the tab, okay? The tab, it just say that, well, they have got space in between instead of like no space. So you have got space by tab. Backspace. No more space there. You will see here that there is no more space. It turned to no more space there. And then from fit, what happened to from fit then? If you try to use like this one, change from B to from fit, that is like F. What happened then? Try to run it, even though that there is no answer there in the page, but we can still run it. Well, there's just what? Just a spice there. There's no change on that. And then auto value. So try it for the auto value. So it is what? It just print out as like hello instead. So we have got a hex value. X48, X4065. Still this is what? Hello. It just print out something as hello. String method. So we have got capitalize, then we try to capitalize the first character to capitalize the uppercase. So hello whatsoever. This is the test, okay. Test dot capitalize. We try to print out. So we have got the hello and then welcome to my world. You can see that for the results there. Then we'll try to define the syntax. String dot capitalize. So if that is like test 36 is my age, and then we try to use a test capitalize and then print X. So it just show you it's like 36 is my age here. So we have got the case row. Hello, welcome to my world. Hello, welcome to my world. So on and so forth. So they have got like different syntax, etc. Booleans. So we try to calculate whether or not it is true or false. So 10 is greater than 9, and 10 is equal to 9. 10 is more than 9. So you have to try it by yourself and then run and see what happened. So 10 is greater than 9, true. 10 is equal to 9, false. This one is equals to, okay, 2 double equal sign is refers to equal to. 10 is more than 9, that is like obviously it's false. So if we try to do it into like another way, 112 is greater is more than 9. 113 is equals to 9, and then 1,2,1,4,5,6 is greater than 9, and then see whether or not it is true or not. It will just tell you automatically from the programming. It just say the first one is true. Okay, 1,4,5,6 is greater than 9, true. Another one is false because 1,113 is not equals to 9, and then 112 is smaller than 9, so this is like false. So try to print a message under whether or not the condition is like true or false. So if B is greater than A, then print B is greater than A, else B is not greater than A. So we try to see what happened. Now, the logic there. Now in computer science, the best computer scientists actually are those who are very bright at the logic, okay? Because a lot of them, they are just if and else. So if A is greater than, if B is greater than A, B is 33 is greater than A, then you just say that B is greater than A, okay? Else, then you just print B is not greater than A, okay? So say for instance, now, okay, say for instance, now we change it to A is like 67, B is 33, we just keep 1, and then run. B is not greater than A this time. Or alternatively, we just change it. A is 3 and B is 33. We run it again. So just say that B is greater than A. As simple as that. It just tells you the story, what happens there. Evaluate values and all variables. So we try to print a string and print number. So we try to print a boolean hello and try to boolean of 15. So both of them are actually true. They are boolean. Both of them, it just implies that they are boolean in this case. So it allows you to evaluate any value and then give you the true or false in return. So evaluate another example. So we have got two variables, x is equal to hello and y is equal to 15. So we try to print the boolean again. So both of them say that it is true. Most values are true. So almost any value can be evaluated true if it has some sort of the content. So any string is true except the empty strings. So any number is true except the 0. Any list or whatever at dictionary are true except the empty ones. So we have got to return to the following. Boolean is like A, B, C. Boolean is 1, 2, 3, and Boolean is like arbitrary bananas. So we see what happens for the Boolean. What they say is that this one is like it's a Boolean, and the second one is a Boolean as well. Third one is also Boolean. So it just tell you that 3 of them are Boolean, so they just say it is true. Some values are false, and in fact there are not many values that evaluate to false, except is that we have got like some of the brackets, etc. So of course the value of the false evaluates to false. Okay. So we try to train it and then say that, well, all of these are actually what they say is false. One or more value of the object in any case that evaluates to false, and that is if you have an object that is made from a class of length function returns to a 0 or 4. So we try to do it and they just say that it is false. So the class my class divide len self and then return 0. So my object here, my class here, and then print my objects. Okay, so the objects here is actually a false. So we try to use the functions that return Boolean, so you can create the functions that return with the Boolean. Okay, define my function, okay, returns true, and then print my function out. So you try to execute the code. So this one is actually true. Another one, print yes to the function. Functions returns to true, otherwise I print no. So divide my function, okay, return with true value, and if my function and then print yes, else then print no. So to say that it is if my function, okay, return with true, okay. So to say that it is like if my function, okay, print yes, because this is actually your function. It has already been defined in the first line, saying that def, okay, my function. So it has already been defined. So therefore, by the time you ask it, it just say that yes, it is true. Python has many built-in functions that returns a Boolean value, like the instance functions, which can be used to determine if an object is of certain data type. So x is equal to 200 and prints is instance x integer. So it's just say that yes, it is true again here. So what you say is that x is equal to 200, so it's just like 200. So if the 200 is actually a kind of like instance, then it's a kind of the integer, then just say it is true. The answer is of course it is true because 200 is an integer. So the statement would below would print a Boolean value. So which one? So we try to do it as like print 10 is greater than 9. And then we try to make it as a Boolean. Try to submit answer. Oh, it is not correct. Why? Try to show it is true because it just say that, well, this one is greater than 9. So of course that is like numerical value. 10 is greater than 9. So therefore it is a kind of correct answer. And then 10 is equal to 9. So this one is what? Ten is equal to 9. So the answer is like false. Okay. And the third one, 10 is greater than 9 again. So that we have got what? 10 is more than 9. The answer is false. And the computer has got a problem. This is like false. Print Boolean ABC. So we have got print Boolean ABC. So the answer is what? The answer is true. So we have got a Boolean there. So print Boolean is equal to 0. So the statement will print a Boolean value. So which one? Then we have got Boolean value is equal to 0. So it should say that it is false. Operators. So operators are actually used to perform the operations on the variables and also values. So Python can divide the operator in the following groups. So we have got arithmetic operator, we have got assignment operators, we have got comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, and also membership operators, bitwise operators, etc. So we have got the Python arithmetic operators where plus, okay, minus, etc. So print 3 plus 7, print x plus y, so it is equal to 8. So it should show what? 8, because x plus y is what? 8. Okay, so we try to print out the answer, so of course it will come out with the 8. We have got subtraction. So x is 5, and then 5 minus 3, so print out, then it will be equal to 2. What if we have got like 89 and 3? So we try to print it out. So we have got the 86. Okay, as simple as that. We have got modulus. What does it mean by modulus there? We try to 2% 5 So we have got 1 here because we want to show that for this case that we try to calculate the modulus here, so it is equal to 1 here. And then experimentation, exponentials, floor division, etc. So Python assignment, some of them they are the same. For example, it's x equals to 5, so that is the same as what we know about x equals to 5. However, x is equal to x plus 3, so we try to use x plus and then equal sign 3. So we try to use it, and then another one, x is equal to x minus 3. So we have got the x negative equal sign 3 instead of putting as like other way around. X is equals to S to C equals to 3. So we have got x is equals to x times 3. X divided by 3, so x divided by equal sign 3. So they are just the same. And then x percentage is equal to 3. What does it mean? It just means that x times x percentage 3. X double slash negative 3, it is just equals to x equal to x double slash 3. So say for instance we try this one. Let's see what happens. So it just tell you something as like, so 5 divided by 3 is equals to 1 only, because we just like neglect the undivided integers. So we just neglect the float associated with this numerical figures. X and equal sign 3, so that is just equals to x and 3. So similarly, it is like 5 divided by 3, so this is like equals to 1 here. So we have a lot of operator for which you have to remember here. Two double side, two equal side that is equal to equal. Okay, one is an exclamation mark, and also another one is an equal sign, then it is not equal. Greater than, then we have just got a greater than sign, and then greater than or equals to, that is like greater than plus the other operator that is like equal sign. Okay, that is equals to what is that? Is that x can be greater than or equals to y. Another one, x can be smaller than or equal to y. Then we will try to put x smaller than, equal sign, and then y. Python logical headers, so they have got an operator, x is smaller than 5, x is smaller than 10. Okay, so we try to return both values if both of them are true. And so it's like, or case, x is more than 5 and then x is more than 4. So we have got the return to true if the statement is true. And so as a not case, Python identity operators. So Python identity operators, so we have got like is or it's not. Okay. So say for instance x is y. Okay. So we try to print it out. Print x is z. Okay. So is it true? So x is equals to z in the third line. So it means that it is true. Okay. Print x is y. So you can see that x is not actually equals to so for here, it returns a false because x is not the same object as y. So even if they have the same content, okay, print x is equals to y. So it demonstrates the difference between like 15 and also the two doubles the equal sign, and this comparison returns to true because the x is equals to true, x is equals to y. Parallelized operators, we have got AND case or case XOR sets them each bit to 1 if one of the two bits is 1. For example, if we got the NOT cases, we have got the 0 is left shift case and also side left shift case. So what you have to do here is that we have got the exercise. So we try to multiply it and then print the results. So multiply, we will try to use this one and then try to print out the results. So it is correct here. Then we have got Python list. The Python collection, we have got the list. So we have got the black cat. Mind you that the black cat is very important. It tells us whether it is tumbles or whether it is like a list. So we have to try to print the list that it should have got the apple, oranges, banana only. So apple, banana, cherry. Okay, because of the fact that we have got we have just said that the black cat inside is something for which we wish to print out as a list. As this item, then we try to print the second item of the list. So the list is this what apple, orange, apple, banana, also cherry. So we'll try to print the list as the first one. So number 1. Okay, number 1, it should not be start from 0. There's an apple in this case, but it should start from banana. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So because the second one is located in the second position is actually banana. So 1 should equals to banana instead of other cases. Return the third one also for 2 to 5. So what you have to do is that to print list 2 to 5. So 2 to 5, then apple is not 2 because apple is number 1. 2 is the banana, 3 is cherry. So cherry is there. And then 4 is orange, 5, and then kiwi. So example returns the items from like the beginning to the to orange. So the list that we have got like apple, banana, and also cherry, orange, kiwi, melon, mangoes. Okay, so we're trying to print the list from and then to 4. Okay. So this will return what the index from 0 to 4 because it just say that it ends with 4. No matter what, if you see that something that you try to end with 4, so we will try to use a colon and then the numerical value where you will try to end it. So for the end it, so what is that here? Remember the index is the first item and 4 is the 5th item. So you can see that it's like 0 apple, 1 banana, 3 cherry, 4 orange, and then 5 kiwi. So remember that the index is 0 is the first time, it's the first item, and the index 4 is the 5th item. So the index, the sum of the index item is not included there. By leaving out the end, then the range will go to the end of the list. Okay. So that we have got the end of the list. So we have got the list, and we set it to true. For example, we try it out, and then we try to find out what it is for the second one. So end of the 2. So we try to return the items from index 2 to the end. 0, 1, 2. Okay. So that is like from 2 to index to the end. range of the negative values. So you try to specify the negative indices if you want to start to search from the end of the list. So say for instance, when we have got -4 to -1. So -4 to -1. So we try to start from which position that you want to count first. So you try to calculate to try to return the items from the -4 to -1. Okay, -4 to -1. So it means that you will start from what? Kiwi, melon, orange, kiwi, and then melon. Why? Because it starts from -4. So -4, then we try to count it from mango. Okay, mango, melon, kiwi, orange. So with orange, it should be what? It should be the -4 one. And then for the -1, then we start from melon, not start from mango, because that should be like 0, just like 0. So that for -1, that means count from the back. So the first one, it should be melon then. So look through the list. So you can actually look through the list of the items by using for lib. So print out all the items that is in the list and one by one. So the list is apples, bananas, and cherry. For x is equal to in the list, and then you try to print the list. So you try to print out the list. So we have got the full chunk. We have got full banana and also cherry. Remember that why it is a list, because it is related to the related to the to the black cat. Okay, the black cat inside stuff. You try to check it whether or not the apple is inside the list. A lot of circumstances we may have got a lot of the things. Okay, so the list is what? Apple, banana, cherry. If apple is in list, then print yes, so apple is there. So we try to spot it from the human eyes. The result that apple is there in the 0 position. First position number 1 is a banana, and that 2 is a cherry. So if we try to print if apple is in the list, then you just print out yes. List length to determine how many times that list have, or how many items that list have. So what you have to do is that you have to calculate the length function. So we have got the list apple, banana, and cherry, and then we have got the print length, this list, etc. So we'll try to add items. So we have got 3 items there. So the length of this list is actually 3. So we'll try to add the items there. To add the item from the at the end of the list, we try to use a pen. So the list is equal to something, and then the list dot append, so that you try to put the thing that's towards the end of the method. Okay, you try to print out the list. So supposedly the orange will be added towards the back. So you can see orange is that there. So orange is the is the last item here. So you try to add the item at the specified index, so you try to use insert. Okay, so insert number 1 orange, so it should be 0, 1 banana. But now it is said that you try to insert number 1 to orange. So what you have to do is that you have to consider whether or not that this is a correct syntax. So what you have to do is that apple, orange, banana, cherry. So orange is added to the position of 1 because of the fact that you just say that insert 1 orange. So orange is in the second position. But then in computer, because we just start from 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, that the orange is added towards the first number 1 position. How can you remove them from this? For example, you want to remove the banana. So what you have to do is that the list dot remove bracket computer banana. Sorry. Then the print the list, then we just have got remove the banana in this case. And for the case of pop just removes the specified index for the last item of the index if not specified. Then the list is equals to apple, banana, also cherry. So for the pop, it just removes the specified index. So for the print, the index. Then we try it by ourselves. It's like apple and also banana only. Delete. You try to remove the specified index. You try to remove apple here because it's position 0. So you try to print it out, and then you have got what? Print out, and the apple is not there. Okay. So what if you try to print it out as that we delete the first one, then banana should not be there. Delete 1. Okay. And then we have got clear to empty the list. So if we want to clear the list, so you just try to use a clear and then list that so that here there's nothing inside. So you try to copy a list, then my list is equals to the list dot copy. So you try to print the list out. So you can see that we have got the whole list here because we try to print the copy list. Another way to make a copy is actually to use the built-in method that's list bracket copy, the bracket. Okay, so we try to make a copy. So we try to print out, then we have got print my list. Okay, so my list, because it is already specified in the second line, that my list is equal to list bracket this list. So we know what is my list then. Okay. Join the two lists. Suppose we want to add them together. So what we can do is that you can see that list 1 plus list 2, so that we have got the list 3. By the time that before we print the list 3, you must define what actually it is, because there is a common error that you may forgot to define the variables. So you must define the variable here. So you try to append the list 2 to list 1. So for x is in list 2, then you have to list 1 dot append bracket x. So we have got a print list 1 here. You try by yourself, then you have got the A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3. So we have got the append. So it means that you try to add on top to the previous one, and then print it out. Then you have got the answer for that. Suppose that now it is like we have got list 3. List 3. We have got list 3. So we try to append x in list 3. So we try to print out. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because what it said is that we try to, for list 3, we try to add the list 2 append x, and where x is actually the list 2, so that we have got the for which we have tried to add in adding the 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 together. So where it is like list 2 and list 3 are appended together by the list 3. So for the list bracket constructor, so it is possible to use a list bracket constructor to make a new list. So example, we try to use a list constructor to make a list. So list bracket apple, banana, cherry. So note that they are round brackets. So we try to print the list out. So by the time we print the list out, then we have got the apple, banana, cherry. Now you can see that originally this is not a list. If you remember, these two brackets, it is not a list. But if by the time we state that it is list, then it is a list. Just like previously, the integer int. Originally, that one was a float, that is with the decimal point. But if you put that as int, they will just tell you that you have to turn it to the int, and then it will turn it to another format. So similar logic applies here. So the method, so we have got append to add an element at the end of the list. Okay, remember the list 2 and also list 3 that we have experimented with. Clear, we try to remove all the content from the list. We try to remove everything. So this one is very similar to the case of Excel. If you want to clear something, then something that is similar. Copy, you try to return a copy of the list. Count returns the number of the elements in a specified value, and then extend the elements of the list to the end of the current list. So say for instance, that we have got like fruit, apple, banana, cherry, car, whatsoever. We try to extend fruits and then extends car. So supposedly that there will be originally it's apple, banana, cherry because it's set here, okay? And then add on top of that is extend cars only. So see what happened. So it is like apple, banana, and cherry go first, and then Ford, BMW, Volvo go next because of fruits we have to extend by the cars. So by the time we print the fruits out, then we have got some cars at the back. Still, the name of the function is still fruits here. Definition and usage, the extend method adds the specified list elements to the end of the current list. So we have got a syntax list dot extend bracket iterable. So try to add the tumbles to the list to the fruits. So how about if we add the tumble? Tumble is just like this one. That is like bracket 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they are not the same type of variables, so what will happen? So you can see that ultimately it just add like apple, banana, cherry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 9. So still the extend by the time it extends and prints the fruits, so it is still there, but then some of them they are worse and some of them they are numerical values. So we have got the POP, removes the elements at a specified position. So POP1, so we try to remove the second elements from fruit. Why? Because 0, apple, 1, banana, 2, cherry. So we try to run it. And then we have got apple and also cherry because the second one, that is what is according to the computer is the first is the number one, then it has already been removed. So here we have got like apple, banana, and cherry. So for the first pop position 1, then it just tells you that it should be the second elements because it said it's like pop 1. Okay, so we have got the banana, it should be there by the time we print it. So for the syntax, okay, reverse is a reversal order of the list. So say for instance, we have got the apple, banana, and also cherry. So if we try to reverse it, it should be like cherry, banana, and apple. See whether it is true. Cherry, banana, and apple. Because this reverse that tell us that we want to reverse it from the beginning to the end from the end to the beginning. sort, we try to sort the list. We have got Ford, BMW, Volvo. So we try it by ourselves so that we have got the cars sort. Okay, BMW, Ford, Volvo. Okay, so why? Because the B start from B first and then F and then later on V. So it's it actually is arranged according to alphabetical order in this sense by the time you use sort. Index. It tries to tell you where the position it is. So we have got the value of cherry. So we have tried to like apple, banana, cherry, X fruits dot index. Okay, we try to find out where it is. So what we try to do is that, for example, we have got other thing else. Rita, John. So we try to find out what is the position of John in this case. So we run again. So John here is what? Position number 4. Why? 0 is apple, 1 is banana, 3 is cherry, 4 is Rita, 0 apple, 1 banana, 2 cherry, 3 Rita, 4 John. So therefore John is in the number 4 position. Then we have got tumbles. So tuple is actually a collection for which like we have got ordered and unchangeable. So in Python, the tuples are written in round brackets. So we have got like apples, banana, and also cherry. So we have to print this tuple, and you have to try it by yourself. So this one you have got like apple, banana, and also cherry. So by the time we print tuple, then we have got like these that are in the tuple form. Okay. Now this tuple again, similar to the previous index one. Then you have to print out as like 1, that will be banana, and then if 0, then that will be what? That should be like apple, okay, so on and so forth, okay. So what you have to do now for the rest of the time, what you have to do now is that you have to try to exercise from the home Python home and then to tumbles, and then you have to do any of the 4 pages here, and then to use a print screen to let me know that you have already done it. Or alternatively, you can try to use the Google. You can use a Jupyter notebook to deal with that. So for the Jupyter notebook, you can actually, okay. So for the Jupyter notebook, you can actually go to, for the Jupyter notebook, you can go to our Moodle, okay. You can go to Moodle, go to Managerial Economics, okay. You can actually go to Google Colab. Okay. So why we? So actually, you can go to Google Colab. First of all, you can go to Google Colab. Okay. So what you can do is that you go to. You just use this page as an example. You try to make a new notebook. Try to load. We try to use a Google Colab. This page. Okay, can you see it for the Google Colab now? It should be able to see it now. For the Google Colab, so what you try to do is that you can actually try to use a syntax here. From starting to, like, for example, that we have got data type, okay. x is equals to 5, and then print type x. So you try to use a Google Colab there, and then you try to run it. So by the time you run it, you click here. So they will just run it and see what kind of results that we have here. So I just say class is integer. So you may just insert, you can just try to insert the code there, and then second row. So for the second row, you try it by yourself, and then you try to use, say for instance, you try to do it here. Now for this one, for example, then that is like, you can just copy it and then run it. Oops. It's failed to copy. So we try to copy it. Syntax, x is equals to syntax hello world. So you try to run it again. Try to run it. So you have to do what? Print x. So we have got what? Hello world. And then we try to do something more. We try to do something more, that is, we try to print type of x. So copy, and then you have got print type of x. So run it. So we have got hello world and then class string. Okay. So this is what you have to do for the rest of the time. For the rest of the some 10 minutes. So you have to choose 4 pages of what you have seen in here, in any of the types there. And then A is that you can just print it directly. So it is here, you just print all the pages, okay. Exercise 1 page, okay. Best if you have got like 4 pages together. And then you can just submit the print screen of 4 pages that you have done for the Python exercise. Or alternatively, you can actually use this one, okay. Now, I have also give you something that is much more interesting, okay, much more interesting. Now, what is this in here? It shows that the Python, okay, Google Colab, for which I have put down in the Moodle. So you can see that here that I try to at least that I try to install upgrade to Constraint, and then imports, and then next one that I try to import to Google Authority, etc. So note that what you can do here is that you can actually open the notebook as what I have done, and then try to run it anyway. So I try to run it, okay. I try to click on this, okay. Try to run that, okay. Run them all together. So collect the data from this sheet, and then we have got some of the results there. And then click all these. So this is how it is work in the Google Colab, because after all, by the time you click all these, that they will just run you with the results. But of course, that they have already run the results. But if you try to copy bit by bit, copy each of them bit by bit, then run it to the Google Colab page. For those that you have seen here, for example, this one, start from this one, and then start from here, and then copy from here, Control-C, and then Control-C, and then copy all these, okay? You can run it in the new results there, okay? So you can actually use it for you can try to use that and then try to explore what it is, okay? Usually, by the time we talk about that we try to use Python, we do not make everything from scratch. But why we have to use everything from scratch? Because it is a way for which that we can just try to we can actually know what it is and how we can use it and change the program in itself. So therefore, this one I do not expect that you know everything what it is, but of course you can try to exercise it, okay, at the end of the today. And next time I will tell you what happened in this page, okay, what happened to this Google Colab. And then best if you can try to make, for example, copy several pages here and then make it through like Python and then submit through the Google Colab page. Or alternatively, if not, then you can still use a screenshot and then to let me know that you have already done for the 4 pages of the Python exercise. So this is all that you have to do. Yes. 無法打開你呢件。For mainland China, you have to use a VPN. You must use the VPN to open Google. So one student asked that you cannot open the Python. So if you cannot open, please try to use the VPN. You must use a VPN to open it. Okay. So for the rest of the class, any problem? So if no problem, then we will just end up here for the remaining 4 minutes or so. Please try to exercise with the Python, and then this is remaining 5 minutes time that you have to do your classwork. There's 4 pages of the Python. So end of the lecture of today. So any questions? Hi, any questions? Any more questions that you have no questions? If we have no questions, then we will just so any questions that you have? So any questions? If no questions, then you have, it's time for you guys to do any 4 pages. Mark in today's website. So we will I will open the link for you to submit. If no more question, we will end here today. So see you next week. So we will open a folder for you to submit for this week classwork exercise. So end of the class of today. So I try to put the end meeting. So if you have got any question, just drop me an email and then see if you have got any question in hand. So for those who come from China, make sure that you try to use a VPN to open the to open the Google page, as otherwise you have got a lot of things that you will miss. Okay, so thank you. See you next week. Bye. Bye.